What is up? What is up? How's it going, fellas? Hopefully all is well with y'all, or well for the most part. I understand nothing's perfect. So we got the first game of the NBA Finals playing the Memphis Grizz, the Grizz Jizz, at home against them. Again, it's kind of set up the same. They have their best player at power forward. I don't want to get in foul trouble with LeBron doing that, so no reason to fuck with that. Should be interesting. We're going to finally have home court advantage in this one, as we are about what? That's an 8-game difference, so we're 8 games ahead of them when it came to regular season. I think that's one of the best records I've ended up with. Nope, sorry, David Aldridge. But yeah, just this has been one of the more fun seasons I've ever had. Like, I know, like, kicking teams' asses can be interesting. Like, all right, here we go. JaVale McGee against DeAndre Ayton's going to be so weird and interesting. Here we go.
Murray with it. There's the feed to Collins. Tries from 16. Kicks it out to LeBron. Off target from outside. Cleveland on defense.
Come on, Chris Dunn. What are you going to do, bitch?
Screen by PorzinGod. They set the pick. Dunn kicks to PorzinGod. The 10-footer. Off the left rim and out. Cleveland with the ball. Here's Murray. Trains it from beyond the arc.
Oh, man.
Murray's got the first 3 points of the
This
night
team loves to
on the
drill
board
threes,
for
though.
Jen.
It's kind of good LeBron James team to set up, because, like, LeBron loves to play with shooters, and when you have the likes of that happening, you got your J.J. Redicks of the world and Jamal Murray's, and that dude's going to bust that. Damn. That's going to be a dude that is going to be a pain in the butt to be able to pull any defensive maneuvers off.
That play was run beautifully. Got positioned inside. The entry pass was on target, and the finish was flawless.
Here we go.
McGee a screen. Wide open look here for Murray. Another 3 for
All right, Jamal Murray. This man right here wasn't fucking around starting this game off.
Here's Holiday. Passes it to D. For the 3. JaVale McGee grabs the miss. For Cleveland, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game.
There we go. Sick shit. Nice pass, Redick. Nice eye. Nice eye, Chronicles. Redick.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
Come on, Chris Dunn.
There's a screen. Jacks up a 3. Dunn misses. The Cavaliers leading by 4. Here's Murray. Wasted no
Ooh,
time
man,
on
if
that
Murray
shot
hit
that's
that.
off the mark. And stolen by Murray. LeBron outside. Puts one up from 19. And off the left side.
Yeah, he's on fire. I mean, we're up by 6, and LeBron hasn't even scored a basket yet. Oh, gosh.
Run with it. And guarded by Murray. Holiday. Knocked away. And a wide open look for James.
Oh, man, they can't handle it. Steve can't handle it.
Oh, absolutely. If they're going to allow him that kind of space, he's going to make more than his share of those today.
To the paint.
It's like Robert Kraft can't handle this media buzz right now.
Falling for him right now. Murray kicks to LeBron. And
Oh, God, if he hits that.
from Redick. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. 3-pointer. Rebounded by McGee. McGee's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Pass to Collins. Back to LeBron.
Really, you're going to have this guy guarding him?
Inside, Collins.
Nice
Good
play.
assist
There we
to
go.
LeBron.
There we go.
Had assists now in their last
Damn. Damn.
So timeout call
Should be interesting
first for Memphis.
with, well, I mean, of course, it's already a fucking blockbuster, interesting wise. I mean, even though it wasn't like
before this thing gets out
a
of hand.
huge
You know what I think they need? More
dividends
defense
for
to try to get the other side to play
the
at
Knicks.
their pace.
I mean, DeAndre Jordan with Cantor gone should, like, but at the same time, they got Mitchell Robinson dealing with that. Oh man,
Pulls up on the wing. Again, the Cavaliers
beautifully
score.
done.
Oh, great ball movement there.
I mean, LeBron's working the lane. LeBron loves those sideways or like side of the like baseline, sideways. What the fuck am
Screen
I
by
talking about?
Porzingis.
Baseline jumpers.
To the inside. D. Shot is good. Off
That was a
the
nice
back
play.
rim and
I
in.
mean, he's a post specialist, but like the fact that you now have Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, and you're setting up for another person to sign because, like, having like it seems like a really smart move
LeBron kicks to Redick.
by
Misses the three.
Mark Cuban and his guys.
Take out a noticeable advantage
Because in Mark Cuban, basically the GM,
And here are the Cavaliers. They're on a 16-6 run. And the call will be
Damn.
against D.
DeAndre Ayton. You'd think this team could score better. Actually, no.
Here's Murray. 8 points for him. And another miss by Cleveland.
Damn.
Almost seemed like he was overthinking that shot. Such a wide open look.
Dude, this team, Ayton's team cannot handle
Porzingis against
mine
Collins.
right now on them defensively at least.
And that's out of bounds.
Get that the
Memphis
fuck
really
out of
taking
here,
possession.
Jared Solinger. You fucking big son of a bitch.
Screen by Porzingis. Clarkson.
Yeah, love the job they've done here to protect the paint.
Another miss. Boy, they had their chance there, but couldn't get it to go. Murray kicks to McGee. Tries to save it, and it's going to be out of
That's
bounds.
Grizzlies ball.
Grizzlies
You
will
fucking
take it.
serious?
Let's take this chance
I
now to show you the
thought that
rest of the
bounced off
postseason
Solinger
story
like when
leaders.
Jamal Murray
LeBron
touched it,
James
but maybe.
And
Pretty
he's
sure. I mean,
taken
it's a
off
fucking
on a
computer. I don't know why the
tremendous
computer would
scoring
come up. You
streak
know what I mean?
at the
Kinda like
perfect
it's a
time.
video.
I mean, obviously, he's established himself as a premier player.
Come on, Jordan Clarkson. Nice
They can
move.
use a big shot here to get this off.
The Missouri alumni.
Possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
It's rebounded by
Damn.
Cleveland.
He has the skills to finish that. I cannot believe he blew it.
Some nice passing by Cleveland here. The dish to Murray. Looking for McGee. He gets it there. It's tipped.
Damn,
It's stolen by
JaVale.
Solinger. And the foul on
Ah.
Jamal Murray. That's
Jamal
his first
Murray. The Canadian.
bullet kicks to Grant. And the
Well,
by
that's what
Grant.
Jeremy Grant's going to do for you. Some athletic ass shit at times.
Greg just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying annex to narrow the deficit.
Yeah, and an example
Oh,
of why you
Chris
want
Stapps
to
still not blocking that shit.
The opening
That was
presented
like
itself and converted in a big
almost.
way.
If maybe you get like Joakim Noah or like Dwight Howard back in like 2008 through 2009, 2010, like against LeBron going to the basket like that, and then you have like the opposite spectrum, like you have the best down low specialists.
Here's Collins. He hits the back iron and
Nicely
sinks the shot.
done.
Collins has got his second basket of the night.
And a
Damn,
huge
dude, this
lead
team
here
is getting
early
dumped
to
on.
start.
Boy, they hit the ground running, and not just on the offensive
Get the
end,
fuck out,
defensive
dude.
brilliant as well.
JaVale.
There's 1:26 left in the first quarter of the game. Scooped up. Outside, Redick. Murray kicks to James.
Oh, baby.
LeBron's got 9.
This game is already just like out of it, dude.
Just a killer
Man, to
instinct
win in the
whenever he
grindhouse
gets
will
the
be
ball.
interesting.
Now,
Oh, I
here's
hope it's
Clarkson.
interesting compared to
Feeds
this
it
game.
Bullock.
Like, son of a bitch.
Back to Clarkson.
Damn.
The bucket and send
Damn,
it
damn,
to the
damn.
line. It could be a three-point
Damn,
play.
damn. Damn to
Their
damn,
post
ma'am.
play has been really solid right off the bat.
The Grizzlies shooting their first free throw of the night here. To the inside. McGee dishes to LeBron. It's Reddick on the wing. Here's the three.
That was expected. I don't know why. I guess it must have been the reaction time.
Left side, Reddick. Three-pointer. Good in the
There we go. I mean, come on. If they're starting to double team him, I mean, he knows it. He's got the championship DNA, man.
This is to Clarkson.
Come on, Jordan Clarkson. Oh, what was it? I forgot. My buddy texted me, and he said that after he had watched the video about Bradley Beal, like in the playoffs on the Clippers, scoring 46. Bradley Beal last night scored 46 points against the Horny Hornets, and I believe they won that game. Like, him and Kemba had really good games.
Passes it to PorzinGod. Takes the three.
Does that count as a rebound for Mr. LeBron? But I'm going to keep them in. Fuck this shit. Gotta keep him in.
And catching up with PorzinGod, he spoke with us about his rude introduction to the NBA.
Yeah, fucking Knicks fans. You ungrateful fucks.
Yeah, Knicks fans really gave it to PorzinGod.
Even though, like, let's be honest, when James Dolan is your, like, president of your company, like, I wouldn't feel comfortable either. Nope, did not count. Damn. I was going to hit that, but I guess the computer was like, no. That's a little bit too easy there, bud. Come on, give it to Jaren Soldier.
I just like the way they're getting out in the open floor, taking advantage of all those fast break chances here early on.
You know, their thoughts coming in were push the ball, get the defense back on its heels.
Their thoughts were push the ball on Doris Burke.
They've got Clarkson. Out there with
what was that guy on Tosh.0 that his way of doing impressions was like to literally like smile real quick and be like, "Hi, I'm Josh Groban." You're like, that's not an impression, dude.
Lets it go with the three. But they get it back.
Let me drive the lane.
James throws it down.
Dump fest.
Step in front of LeBron James, we're going to question your sanity. Just a freak of nature.
They set the pick. Here's Clarkson. And the Grizzlies take on two more.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
I think you'd like to see a little more determination defensively to fight through that and contest a bit.
Back to Reddick. Latrey.
That's good.
It's James picking up the assist.
This game is lopsided as fuck.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give them.
Come on, fellas. The fuck.
To the paint. Good D by James.
All the credit goes to the defense, preventing a terrific finisher like that from throwing it down.
Murray. And another three for
this
Cleveland.
game. Dumping on this team.
From the triple. 4 of their last 5
Jesus, dude. I mean, 4 last 5 makes from 3. I mean, I know, yeah, that was Jordan Clarkson's face. Look at that. Look at that dude's face. He's like, why the fuck are we here, man? Why couldn't the Dallas Mavericks win that fucking game?
Dunn, he's checked in for Clarkson. Here's Dunn. Uses the glass to
nice play, Dunn.
They're scoring
Brooks and Dunn.
Of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Let's go. You want a piece of this?
All right.
Alright, Jaren Soldier. Trying to fuck with me on that shit. Your team's losing by twice its score. Or pretty much losing by its score.
And it's the Cavaliers with the ball.
And LeBron James in the NBA Finals. Taking a pissed off. Oh, man. It's funny, like, if someone shat on you, like, that would just be disgusting, but would you think it'd be more demeaning if someone fucking pissed on you? Or do you think it'd just be because it is disgusting, it goes hand in hand, that if someone shat on you, like, that'd be way worse? Because, like, it just feels like he's just taking piss all over him. Because people are like, you just got dumped on, dude. Like, people casually say that. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's like if someone gets pissed on, it's like, whoa, that's fucking degrading, dude. Like, you rude son of a bitch.
The 15-footer, good.
The defense getting a little lazy there. You can't give him those shots. He'll make you pay every time.
There's the pick. To the inside. Collins dishes to McGee. The kick out to LeBron. And it's JaVale McGee with
Damn,
the
JaVale. Way to fuck things up, JaVale. I want LeBron to get a fuck ton of points. And, well, actually, on that one, the way this game's set up like that actually will give LeBron the points. Even if JaVale does set that up.
Here's Holiday. The shot by Sullinger. Wide open. Here's D. And it's good.
Oh, nice play. Nice play, nice play, nice play, nice play.
He is not someone you can sleep on. Otherwise, this is what happens.
No, it's DeAndre Ayton, okay? I think he's made his introduction to the league decently well. Not amazing, but like.
LeBron kicks to McGee. He dishes it to Collins.
Damn, they haven't made either of those when I dished it instead of.
6 rebounds in the game. Holiday, LeBron with the block.
He was tracking that shot the whole way. No chance LeBron was letting that get to the rim.
Oh, LeBron.
Missing.
Well, he almost never misses that shot, guys. But you know he'll take it again if he gets another good look.
Done with it. To the wing on the left. Shoots off the screen. Another miss by Holiday.
Not really sure what he was thinking about on that shot. That is not high IQ basketball.
No, and it looked like he got a bit ahead of himself. And just couldn't pull
Passing around threes. This is hilarious. I mean, fuck it, dude. If you're shooting that well for the most part, he ain't making that.
The Grizzlies with another miss.
That's a look you cannot pass up. It's also one you shouldn't miss.
And another miss by Cleveland.
You know,
Shot you don't pass up. It's also one you'd never miss. You
Kicks
should
it to Dunn. Over in the corner.
never
Sullinger.
mess up the
Memphis
impression.
moving that ball around.
Just like I
There's the
fucking did.
screen. Outside Holiday. Another miss by Holiday.
struggling to make shots this quarter and making it hard to catch up.
Redick with the
Oh, JJ
The awareness LeBron
Redick.
possesses was on display there. He knew
Chronicles of
exactly
Redick. This team is not scoring with the damn. Damn. He's on fire, so let's leave him in. JaVale, you've had yourself a beautiful first half. We're going to have to sit you the rest of the half. Up by 19. There's a chance to just completely destroy them here in the...
I think that's a wise timeout.
You know, it gives you a chance to calm your guys down. Let them know what opportunities you see from the sideline.
Miracle Man, he's checked in for JaVale McGee. Hernan Gomez grabs the miss.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor.
Oh!
Boy, he's been dead-eyed
I'm
tonight.
surprised that Porzingis didn't try to run up and do that.
The Cavaliers
But
shooting their first
Jesse Smollett, I know I talked about it earlier in a
Now,
couple
LeBron
videos
continues to
earlier,
excel
but like,
shooting a high
come on,
percentage from the
the
charity
fuck,
stripe.
like,
The
and the
defense
funniest thing
would
to
rather
me is that a lot of
avoid
people were
sending him
jumping at like his side or something, because like, you know, like, because that's the thing, right? Is that like, it's like now people will take the side of any try to like story or like the truth of any story more so based upon the fear that they don't want to be caught believing that, like, even though like the truth is the most important thing, that like, you know what I mean, like believing, okay,
and out of bounds is Memphis.
people are like, the fact that people are so scared now that they don't want to get caught like thinking something that someone's going to think of them as being hateful or like a hate crime or something like that, or racist. You know how like people are now on eggshells about shit, that like now people care so much. And you saw with like instead of questioning the initial story, because like apparently it was fishy right away, but then actors were just jumping on his case because they're like, yes, it's terrible. Like Ellen Page went on some sob story how like, you know, we must live in a country that's so hateful against gay people or something like that. Like oh, because our vice president doesn't want. I was like, that doesn't fucking stand for like, you know what I mean? Like those people did not vote for being like, yes, I voted for Trump because Mike Pence. I wanted Mike Pence in the White House. Like, no, you fucking like sobbing ass story. Like, come on, like, and like what's crazy is that people will jump to the side of someone just so because they're afraid of like, oh well, you know, this story happens. Oh, we gotta jump to his, you know, defense and stuff like that, and like journalists did that. And that's the craziest part, is that journalists did that, and journalists' jobs are supposed to not have an opinion based, like, you know, journalism, to where that dictates the story to them. Oh, nice. Nice. But you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to have, like, if you're doing research-based, which you learn in fucking college and high school, you know, how to write a research paper, is that you have some sort of idea when you write the paper, but, like, when you're writing, like, a journal, like, when you're writing a story as, like, journalism, you're supposed to have, like, no opinion influencing. Nice. You're not supposed to have an opinion influencing why you do the the facts of the story. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're news, because then at that point it becomes like a weird factor of like, well, are you now like being involved with telling us something just based upon your opinion? Because then it's just like, you know, fucking children trying to tell like their parents what happened in a story, you know, between two kids that were fighting or something, like on a fucking playground. Like, of course you're gonna hear their own biased opinion of how the story went. Just like that's what you see with, oh, you can tell, you know, they've like done studies to how like you could watch the same story on two different news networks, but like depending on which one you watch, it like depending on how it was presented to you on whatever network, like that's gonna like be telling of how you took in that information of what happened on the news, which is insane. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, that's kind of scary too. Like, what? Like, and like what's crazy is that like a lot of these actors jump to the side, and you get like people on like TV that like they have a platform. Okay, like when someone goes on television, it has the privilege, because she even said it. Oh, because I have the privilege, I'm gonna say it now. Well, you have the privilege, but you also have the privilege of being told that you're a dumb fucking bitch for speaking out about something that you didn't even have a lick of sense of what was going on. Like, she basically used the hoax, Ellen Page, as a means to tell her, oh, nice, suck my balls, Memphis. But like, using that hoax, which ended up being bullshit hate crime, which is offensive to people that, you know, offensive to his ancestors, that possibly an ancestor has actually been lynched in his family. And it's offensive to them, and it's also offensive to the lesbian, bisexual, and gay community to do that shit. Because now you're degrading them, because fuck this whole about degrading himself. Of course he degraded himself. He got caught being full of shit, being a narcissistic piece of shit, which honestly, a lot of those people, when you are involved in a job that millions of people are focusing in on your work and stuff, there's a lot of attention seeking already to be garnered into that. You know what I mean? Like, when you're at that level, like, you know, acting and stuff, and like in that kind of level, like musicians and stuff, it's no longer just about the music. Like, when you're having that many people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Beyonce Knowles is sitting there and being like, yeah, baby, like, I'm here to do this beautiful music for Jay-Z and the fam. And you're like, no, like, there's a huge influence of that, is the fact that like you want to make boogoo millions and billions of dollars. Like I don't buy, like, and the funny thing to me is that why do people believe actors and actresses on TV? Like, I'm not saying like any like conspiracy shit, but what I'm saying is like these people are like, you know what I mean? It's like Bill Burr said once on his podcast that it's funny that people have a persona of actors based upon the roles they play. Like, people think Clint Eastwood's a badass. Clint Eastwood's a fucking actor. He plays badasses. You know what I mean? And like, that's the thing, is that like, because he's done that enough, he has the fucking stigma of being a huge badass, but he only, like, his characters are badasses. Like, he could honestly be the biggest milquetoast like in the world, but oh, dude, come on, man. Stop trying to double team me on this shit. But what's crazy about it is that you get the likes of Ellen Page having like a really like sob story and stuff like that, is that you don't really know how sincere these people are. They're paid liars, like, and I'm not saying like deviant liars, but their jobs are involved. Like their job is to literally take on something that they are not, and like it's supposed to be a job that's involved with literally like pretending to be something they're not, and they're a decent amount of them are good at it and very persuasive. So when you see these people try to make their like you got the likes of like Matt Damon and shit, like on TV trying to like get a whole crowd of people riled up. He's like, yeah, this is what we are talking about. You know what I mean? And it's just like, huh? Like, stop trying to act like you're like, stop trying to buy that like Matt Damon's really into this like cause or something like that, or some actor is, because it's a little weird, right? I mean, right? Like think about it. It's like as if you had like a morbidly obese like sumo wrestler that like fucking like goes to your restaurant. He's like, oh yeah, like you know what I mean? Like you're fucking a friend of his or something has a restaurant and he loves the food there, and you're like, well, I don't know, because you're a big son of a bitch. You could just love food at every fucking place. Horrible analogy, but y'all kind of get the idea of how like we can't literally just sit there and be like, oh yes, did you see blah 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 and Jimmy Fallon give that beautiful monologue? Yeah, you mean like the fucking like the 300th monologue that fucker's ever gone through, maybe like 10,000 for some people. All right, that's a fucking walk in the park. Like George Clooney does that shit. Okay, yeah, George Clooney or like fucking Ellen Page. Yeah, I'm sure they've gone through that, 100 fucking times in like a semester to practice, if not even more than that, while they're in theater school before acting. Like, oh Jesus, what was a dunk? That was a nice dunk by PorzinGod. It's gonna be fun to see him and Luka Doncic. But like, does anybody understand? Like, the fact that like you're sitting there, it's like these are paid liars for you. You shouldn't buy their opinion like right away. Like, and what's crazy is that they use that as a platform, the whole Jesse Smollett thing, to say shit like that, and Ellen Page to get her sob story out. I understand like like how like that could be a call for help for people, like you're like, oh, like like blah blah doesn't want me to have the same rights as you, blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, like I understand the concern with that. Oh, nice. Nope. But, to use that platform right away, and then they look absolutely stupid. And that's the thing, though. These are actors, okay? These are not scientists or anything like that. And even scientists, no one's free from being, no one's free from being a dumb fuck, okay? We all have our fair share of being a dumb fuck. I've said some stupid shit to my friends, and my friends have said some stupid shit to me, and I've said some stupid shit to people, and people have said some stupid shit to me and my friends and everything. Like, that's like that. No one's free for being a dumbass. And also, too, is that you're a dumbass when you come off like that and make a huge sob story based upon like how like he's like. It's like, oh yeah, you see, this is an example of why like the country's like this and stuff like that, and you're like, oh yeah, you didn't think about the fact that like it's fucking negative 25 degrees out, you know what I mean, and it's Chicago, and if you ask me, black people don't like the cold. Like, so like I could understand that you're like, oh, that's a white person. Oh, seriously, if you're in Chicago, downtown Chicago, or any part of Chicago for the most part, like near just like the city limits of Chicago, because I know there's a lot of suburbs, just like you have Houston, LA, huge cities. But you're gonna sit there and tell me that you're gonna have white dudes be dressing up with MAGA shit in the middle of Chicago, of all places? You think Chicago is one MAGA country, and two, you think that you're gonna have some white dudes that are gonna just try to look around for dudes, like. And fucking Chicago, like they're the rarity, okay? When it's Chicago like that. Oh, dump fest. But seriously, like the story wasn't it wasn't really viable and then viable technically at the same time. But like Jesus Christ, like oh, send them in. LeBron James. But yeah, like that's just not. It's not it's not believable, that story. It doesn't add up. And what's even stupid too, they didn't even get this. They didn't even get the fake staged act off in the right angle. Like that, the subway camera didn't even like catch it. And you're like, dude, like you work on a fucking set and you don't even know about camera angles. Like get the fuck out. Like dude, this guy's obviously dumb. And also too, I mean, there's obviously something psychologically off with that dude. I mean, coming through with like making, you know, and also like obviously you can have the likes of like having your like you know, someone send you something like kind of like a cutout, you know, of what you can call it, of like magazine letters and stuff, so that way you know, your handwriting isn't covered, and I can see that like someone sending that to him or something like that. But like just the fact that like that's the case and stuff, and it looks like a fucking 5-year-old child like did it. Okay, like what were you trying to make everybody seem like? Look at here, dude. Just because someone's hateful doesn't mean that they're a fucking 5-year-old child. Okay. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, that's some dumb shit. But like, it looked like it was written by a 5-year-old. Nice dunk. But it was like, it was really bad. Like this hate letter, quote unquote, that like turned out, and he's still like trying his best. But like the dude's fate, like Chicago Police Department, in a town that's predominantly filled with black people that like I'm sure their ancestors and themselves maybe have faced a decent amount of racism in their lives, and you're gonna have this dude hit headlines and it being fake as fuck. Nice block. Being fake as fuck. Like you're gonna get the maximum. You're gonna get the maximum charge, bud. And I don't know what's going on. Like if someone could be that stupid, but like I just don't get it. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. But I just want to get the more important thing to me is that like you get actors and actresses that like I don't know what is with people. Like I think it's just the connection with entertainment that people like have this god or goddess persona when it comes to actors, actresses, and like entertainers and stuff, that it doesn't take away the fact that like, you know, these fuckers still lick donuts fucking donut shop, you know, like, and they still date crazy ass dudes like Pete Davidson, who like that dude's already weird. Like he's got some funny stuff at times, but like he just, I don't know, I just feel like that's a dude that like and plus his family knew people to put him on fucking Saturday Night Live, so he's been privileged to have that connection to be put on Saturday Night Live when he's fucking 19, 20 years old. Nice. But when you're having this, like, just because people have a platform doesn't mean that you need to necessarily listen to them. Would you fucking listen to Donald Trump? Would you fucking listen to Hillary Clinton? No. But the fact that you let them, because they have their platform, get away with that, the fact they just don't know shit, or like they don't know how to handle shit, that like you automatically assume that they're like what they have to say is like viable and shit. No, dude. Like, and when you have people, a lot of these people, I mean, think about it, right? Like when you're a politician, you yourself, your life is pretty much similar to being acting, because your job, because you have to be so neurotic that you have to care about what your voters perceive of you, that like you officially become the kid that tries to be cool at the cool table, and you end up doing some stupid shit. And believe me, I've done some stupid shit being a kid to try to like make people laugh. And like, but people have done some stupid shit, like, you know what I mean? Like you get like politicians that are like, no, I'm not against gay marriage, and then like 10 years ago they were totally like, nope, I'm a Bible thumping, and you're like, dude, these people are flip-flops. They're just doing it to just like, you know, tickle you with the feather right here while they're doing like the little Houdini trick in the back. Like, I don't give a fuck. And like those people are acting. It's like if there's a TV screen, y'all, it's an alternate reality because it's being perceived as something else. Like when actors come on shows and stuff like that, you don't really think that like Jimmy Kimmel and them already know what they're gonna talk about? Like, it's softball questions to the max. You know what I mean? Like when Ellen Page went on a rant, fucking what's his face? Stephen Colbert had a picture of her and her wife like popped up like 5 seconds into her monologue. That's fucking proof that that shit was staged. You know what I mean? Like everything is staged on television. It's so unorganic and so unnatural that it's annoying and it gets old. It gets old because with being unorganic and stuff, you can change stuff and you can make new things and stuff like that. But in itself, when it's unorganic, the idea of being unorganic kind of, unironically makes it like, oh, like this is not really like you can have the human imagination, but at the end, it's still coming from the same minds to stage shit and stuff like that. To where it's no longer, it's kind of the same shit over and over and over again. And it's fucking annoying. I mean, with the Jussie Smollett thing, it's a new thing. But is it really new, being full of shit and these people being full of shit and like Jussie Smollett did his thing and it was dumb and narcissistic. But do you really think that's the first person to act like that in that kind of environment? These people are glorified. And like the dude complained, and this was all because the dude felt like he wasn't getting paid enough? Boy, like the fact that I want to slap you right now for hearing that he was making 65 grand on an episode. That's 20 grand more on average than the median income in America per episode. And let's say there's 12 episodes, per season. That, like, what is that? $780,000. Like, Jesus Christ, boy! Like $780,000. If you ask me, if you ever had college debt, you can pay that off after a fucking episode, and you have some left over. And you're gonna fucking complain about that? You see, that's what I mean by these people that live in this luxurious lifestyle and stuff like that. That it never actually like fits them to do well later on in life. Because, like what I was thinking about Robert Kraft and the likes of having prostitution rings, that they can be billionaires, but it's not enough. You know what I mean? Like $65,000. Like if I was making $120,000, I feel like that's enough. Like even if I had a family, I feel like that's enough money. But like you're gonna sit there and you're gonna think that's not enough money for you, and like it's similar and like it's not as deviant as Robert Kraft, but in a new kind of deviance and a different kind of deviance. Like his prostitution ring or like pedophilia ring, that's the ultimate, I think, of just human trafficking stuff. That's like, it kind of seems like that's the ultimate, line for stuff like that. Like you're like, that's a different kind of fucked up. But to sit there and basically, come up with a hate crime so that way people can feel sorry for you. Like, what's your end game? Like, what is with this victim consciousness shit? Huh? Why do you want people to feel sorry for you? You know what I mean? Like, how sad is that? That's like, that has to be so sad. Like, how are people not realizing how sad that comes off as? Like, that sounds so sad. Like, what is your goal? To make you feel like, is that like literally like, and also too, it might be a reflection that he thought that it was a dumb idea. But the fact that he thought about it shows that there has to be some sort of bit like that. That there is a lot of victim consciousness going on. You know what I mean? Kind of like how you see with the Me Too movement, horrible things going on in Hollywood, of all places, right? Hollywood, the same people that are trying to push the movement are the same people, that are behind being, the producers and executives who molested these women and, well, not molested them, but, use their power against them and stuff. And a little bit too is that some of these actors and actresses use their sexuality against the, to get ahead in their acting jobs. Because, at the end of the day, you have the negative influence of having an executive, but there's a little bit of you can't use your own sexuality to try to get ahead in the world. Like that in itself should be a negativity, but but in itself too is that a negative part about the Me Too movement with like victim consciousness is that now because of, and again, like I said, it's weird that the same people, the same environment that is the one that committed these offenses is the same one that has pushed the movement to the spotlight. Because think about it, Hollywood owns the spotlight. Okay, like these people own your television screens already. All right, like it did, like it's pretty obvious the deal. Sorry, like there's a lot of points going back and forth now. I don't give a shit about. But just like the fact that, you know, like we got to look at nice, make it. Nope. But we got to look at the fact that, like, you can't let something get out of control. And I'm not saying, like, oh, we can't let women get all this power. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I think about it is that if you're going to have this level of victim consciousness, you need to understand the negative effects of having that. Because the negative effects that are happening is that you're getting this idea now that, oh, well, because of these power-hungry dudes in Hollywood, who have also been the same environment that's pushing the Me Too movement. You see how it is? The people that are controlling the movement against itself? Yeah, it's a little crazy. Don't you think it's a little dumb? I think as a public, we should not let them be the ones who fucking run this ship. But in all seriousness, though, is that you can't let this perception of, you know, men as a whole are like the problem or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like that term, I've heard it before, toxic masculinity. It's like, what are y'all talking about? Like, toxic masculinity and femininity are not toxic. Even though I do think that, like, the pinnacle position in society is like a loving mother, because mothers, everybody loves mothers, and I think it's a real reason why is because mothers teach people how to socialize, they teach people how to love. And like mothers teach, you know, fathers in their own relationship before having children how to be like loving and stuff. So like there is that, like, you know, before they have children, the female teaches the male how to love and stuff like that. But you can't have shit like that when you're saying toxic masculinity and stuff like that, because if you're gonna have low self-esteem men, they're not gonna stand up to the challenges that come ahead of, you know, being an adult, of being in a relationship with someone. You know, like those are big challenges ahead, and when you have low self-esteem, they're not going to believe themselves already. Oh, hit it. Nice. If anybody has low self-esteem, they're not going to stand up to a lot of things. And if that's the case, then it's going to take away the power of how women teach their men, because then men aren't going to listen eventually to that. And even though you're thinking you are, but it's kind of an abusive stance, thinking, oh yeah, all men are terrible and stuff like that. You're like, last time I checked, you know what I mean? Like we're all guilty of doing some dumb shit sometimes, for sure. But to think that we're abusively, like, use sexual, like, or like physical power all the time, like, nope, like, that's the powers that be have done that, and those are the same people that are pushing this. Ooh, nice play by Lance. That was cool. That was slick. But yeah, like, I just feel like that's totally been the case, and we can't let that happen. And I mean that for everyone. I don't mean like men shouldn't let this happen, because I don't want some division towards it. It's dumb. But like, I hope like the logic behind this is showing with my wording. I'm not the best at wording stuff. But honestly, like, when I'm looking at it, you can't, like, because you think about it in a lot of cases, like, you know, sexual offenders, you know, sexual abuse offenders and stuff like that. You end up looking at their own profile, and you start realizing, oh, this person was sexually abused when they were younger. So then at that point, there's the theory behind how the abused become the abusers. Kind of like how if someone is taking a bunch of bullshit from an old boss, and they finally get promoted when the old boss leaves, and then you realize, oh, holy shit, this new person is a tyrant at, like, when they became I never saw this about this person. Kind of this idea you're seeing with like the Rose McGowans of the world and stuff like that, is that they have this deviance to them now, to where like it's like, oh, we gotta fucking kill men, and it's like, whoa, don't let this anger get to you. Like, be grateful that like of any negative thing that's happened to you, but they're not being grateful about it, they're being angry about it. Like, I've talked to my sister and like women I've known in my life that have dealt with men that have, done stuff to them and stuff like that. And it's not fair. It's not fun, and it can't be fun to have that on your on your life and stuff like that. But at the same time, though, is that the victim consciousness in itself is kind of something that's, nice, fucking sick game by LeBron. But like that's kind of the thing, right? Is that you're sitting there and you can be pissed off at it, but in itself, think about it, right? If you're gonna have people that do that stuff, you can have people and they do offensive stuff like, Harvey Weinstein. You're not gonna change that dude. He's a piece of shit. He doesn't give a fuck. He's a fucking gross dude. And next episode, I can get into how porn is fucking over men and young adolescent men. It's because I'll get into that next episode, but it's insane because you're sitting there and I've really gone on a tangent, but like you can't let Hollywood influence that, because in itself Hollywood is the cancer, and you can't let Hollywood sit there and try to push a movement against itself, because then you're like, no, there could be some collusion with this, and like, no, this doesn't make any sense to me. So with that being said, like you can't just sit there and become pissed off about negative things that happen in your life. This is why I always try to be grateful about negative things that happen and stuff like that. And things aren't going to go necessarily well, for sure. You're going to it's true. It's just the truth. But the best you can do is be grateful about it. I mean, negative things be going on in your life, but you have to be grateful. You can lose a loved one, you can lose a parent. And it's a terrible feeling, I'm sure, to lose a parent, and obviously terrible losing a loved one and stuff. But you got to be grateful and use your best for it, because if you're not grateful for it, you're never gonna be able to start growing to learn stuff in life. Because if you're not grateful for negative stuff, that's how you become bitter. And the thing you be grateful for, like if you're a woman that's dealt with such abuse and stuff like that, is that you can go ahead and, because with the victim consciousness thing is that it's people, because that's the thing though, right, with victim consciousness, is that it's a win-win for the negative side of it, because in itself the act has already happened, so it's already the fact that's won by the abuser, that the act's already happened. Man, I had 112 points and only went to the free throw line like once or twice. Nice. Dumped on that team. 41 assists. LeBron had a great game. But honestly, though, like there's no reason to let that affect you like that, because you're going to let it continue to eat you up. You're going to be a bitter person, and stuff like that. And you can learn, and the best thing you can do for learning about that, it helps you grow as a person anyways. And this is just my opinion, Of course, people have different ways of doing it, but I think it should be universally accepted that it's wrong with this victim consciousness, because it's a win-win for the side, because people are so compassionate, it's using people's compassion against them. So basically, you're sitting there, and someone has been raped, someone has been sexually abused in their past, sexually assaulted. It's a terrible thing, for sure. It is. But then what could happen is that people get so angry. Like think about a little bit like the guys that were bullied so much in Columbine, right? There could be a victim consciousness. There is no victim consciousness on that degree of a level, but it got to that degree of a level because no one did anything about it to begin with. But that's what happens when you let the anger build up. You're not grateful for anything negative happened to you. And those dudes were bullied really bad. Like severely bullied. I mean, I think they had shit thrown on them. Like Jesus Christ. Like that's just disgusting. They're thrown on you. But like in itself, that's what happens when you let the anger build up, is that you eventually have not, a school shooting or a shooting in general. In that case, it was a shooting, to where their anger was built up so much, and the perspective on how dealing with it wasn't there, and how to deal with it justly. And the parents weren't involved enough, I guess, and stuff. It's just like the case, like I would squeeze it out of my kids and my children if they were like feeling down about something. I would have to squeeze it out of them, because they don't know any better. But you can't just sit there and be a fucking wuss of a parent and just not fucking talk to your kid about something. It's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? It's like that's why people are getting spoiled children, is that they let their fucking children do everything because they're too scared of hurting their kid's fault. That's too much compassion, y'all. Because you can have ignorant compassion that leads to, you know, a kid end up becoming spoiled because you just don't want to tell them no. Like I have a grandma that does that, and it has led to her grandchildren being complete fucking twats sometimes on a side of my family. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, it's fucking terrible. And it's like, oh, I just don't want to tell them no. Oh, yeah? Don't fucking raise people that you're gonna fucking hate later on in life. And I'm not saying like hate, but strongly dislike. I really don't like those people like for a decent amount because they do some fucking shitty stuff because they're spoiled. And you could have spoiled not on like necessarily getting materials and like objects all the time. You know, some people are spoiled in rich families and get a lot of stuff and a lot of privilege when it comes to like yachts and being able to go on a lot of vacations and stuff like that. Being able to not have to work through college or have to pay for college at all or something like that. But you also get stuff to where people do things and the parents just don't know how to say no, or like you can't do that. And what ends up happening is that eventually you've just trained that person. I know it sounds weird to say train human, but that's technically like having a pet or something like that, because that's the idea, right? Is that behind having a pet is I have friends that have pets, but, just like having a human and stuff and having a baby, you're taking out now a lot of the extra stuff in life with having a pet because it's a living thing you have to take care of, you have to help grow and raise, is that you have to discipline that person and stuff. And that's what toxic masculinity is not masculinity is toxic. That's like stupid. What are you like? What are you, a fucking forensic fucking psycholo or not forensic, a forensic fucking like what is this, CSI or something, dude? Yeah. Oh yes. What's the deal with this victim? It appears this victim after the toxicology report that they had toxic masculinity. No, you fucking schmuck. No, it's just a dude that wasn't raised right and didn't have enough discipline in his life. And you can have it the same way with a spoiled ass woman who's a fucking bitch. Like that's just the case. Like, and you can have men that are bitches. You can have women that are bitches. So I'm not gonna make that term sexually specific, but that's the case, and it's fucking pathetic that you just can't let that happen. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, and honestly, too, you could have an overbearing mother, a helicopter mom. Could I say that that's toxic femininity? To where someone has to be in control of something? Because women are the best at raising human beings, like I said. That's why the mother role is so greatly, like, I don't know why it's not that appreciated in society. I'm not doing some Handmaid's Tale shit, okay? So don't start thinking that I'm thinking of that shit. But no, but what I'm saying is that like the idea, I'm not trying to think that this is like some fucking like pilgrimage, like Salem witch trials times, like 1700s mom. No. The idea of a mother is a philosophical thing. It's not like materialistic to where, yes, bro, we got to send these women back in the old ages and they got to be making all the food for us and stuff. No. But they should be the main people raising your children because women know how to socialize people. Women know how to teach people how to love, and it's true. All right. And that's the thing that's funny to me is that going on is that partially too is that they want to talk about toxic masculinity and men and stuff like that, which isn't true. It's just masculinity which is in men that is not disciplined. And that's what happens. That why do you think you get a lot of people that are born out of wedlock that end up not knowing how to have manners, people that get in a lot of crime and stuff? That's a lack of discipline because you don't have a full family there to help raise you and stuff like that. And also too is that when you do have like a single mom like that, unfortunately for the mom, she's working a lot and it leads to a lot of time with her being away from her children, and the children don't know how to love and stuff like that, and the children aren't disciplined and socialized well enough to where you can have narcissistic men and narcissistic women, which is going up at a higher rate now, especially with telephones and stuff and cell phones, because that's lowering our ability to socialize because it's an antisocial thing. I mean, narcissism is an antisocial thing because there's nothing socialized about being full of yourself. That's why I'm saying that women teach people how to socialize because most men are narcissistic. And what I mean by narcissistic, it's an antisocial disorder. And most men aren't taught feelings as much as women are and stuff like that. And it's more in the female DNA. And it's true. There's a fucking biological difference between men and women. Sorry, folks. Sorry to fucking slam it on you, but that's why there's like differences. So it's funny that we talk about toxic masculinity, but when they want to try to have like woman equality, they pretty much put women in male roles of like just physically kicking ass in movies and stuff like that. But like the true way of showing like the female beauty is to show what you naturally have, and that's what women have, is the ability to socialize and teach people how to love and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Think about it, right? Men seem like idiots when they want to fucking plan shit out because they don't know how to fucking socialize like women. Like women are like, you ever seen a PTA fucking meeting and shit? The women are like fucking. I remember like one time going to a PTA room and they're like, "Oh yeah," it's like, "We got these T-shirts right here to sort." I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then I come back and they like got orders going on and shit like that. You're like, "Yep, that's yeah. Women know how to run shit like that, and socialize and work together and stuff like that because." That's the thing about femininity. That's the natural role. I'm sorry it's given to you, but like that's that's honestly what I believe, is that like, and not being sexist because I'm technically giving a higher set towards how like women have this natural ability given to them. I think that you see across most women compared to most men by far this natural skill that helps raise societies and stuff like that, because those are the initial teachers, are mothers, because those are the first teachers. Fuck schools and stuff like that. And guess what? Also a great way of proving how like that's the case. Guess who are most of the teachers at schools? Females. Okay? They help socialize children as they begin to grow up and grow into adults and older people as they start putting themselves as adults into society. Socializing people, putting them into society. Social, society. Ooh, it's weird how that those two words share the same prefix. Oh, it's so weird, isn't it? So, in itself, don't think it's right. Like, they shouldn't let women think, damn, Porzingis had a really good, I think he had a really good second half. Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, like, it's just um, that's how I feel. I'll talk some more about it next video and stuff like that, because I hope I can get my word understood more. But talking about more about this stuff, because it's a lot bigger than you'd think it is, and it's really grinds my gears sometimes. But as always, y'all, really thankful for the support. I really appreciate it. Really good game by LeBron. Really good game by Porzingis too. Actually, I kept on leading him towards the basket, towards the easy shot. So I think that really led to it having a good game, because like most of that team wasn't scoring well at all. And let me go to score summary. Fuck it. Here we go. Yeah. But LeBron, huge game. But as always, y'all, really thankful for the support. Appreciate it, buds. I'm really enjoying this commentary thing, and it's nice having a coffee going through my system like this, because I feel like Alex Jones. I could talk all day. Fucking this has been fun. And I remember I used to make like 5 podcast videos. Maybe it was like 6 or 7, but I was out of my mind doing those things. And I feel like this is an easier platform to do it on and stuff, especially on like a video game where I can play and talk bullshit at the same time. And hopefully my bullshit makes sense sometimes. But as always, y'all, appreciate the support. Very thankful. Comment, give your opinion on some shit I'm talking about. Really, I'd love to hear it. Like it if you like the content and the commentary and stuff like that. I appreciate the support, y'all, and as always, be grateful for everything that happens to you, especially the negative things, man. Because if you don't be grateful for those things, you're just gonna be a bitter person in life. Thanks, y'all, and hear back from you next episode. Thanks.